الله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الخلق أجمعين محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. The subject of fiqh, and we reached the rules about ghusl or the ceremonial bath. It is issue 378. To do ghusl, whether it is irtimasi by dipping our body in water, or tartibi to wash one place by one place, it is not necessary that all parts of the body to be tahir from the beginning. Of course, ghusl should be done when the body is tahir. Tahir means there is no urine, no blood, no stool, no semen, nothing, no najasat. But suppose my leg was najis, I start to wash head and neck, and then when I reach to the side where my leg is najis, I clean it and wash it, and then I continue ghusl. It is okay. Not necessary in advance to clean the body completely. Of course, it's better if we clean it in advance, no doubt. So we are sure that our body is tahir. But whatever part we wash in ghusl has to be tahir. If it is najis, then ghusl is not valid. Suppose I have blood and still blood is there, either dry blood or an injury where blood is coming out. Before blood stops, I cannot do ghusl. So either I wait till blood stops, or if it is dry blood, then I clean it and remove it, and then I perform ghusl. So najasat or any najis things has to be removed, and the body has to be cleaned before performing ghusl of that part. Maybe we do ghusl of other parts and we leave that part. When we reach to it, then we wash it. That is the issue. The other issue related here, if somebody has janabat from haram things, God forbid he did haram way, that masturbation or adultery or whatever, and he become at a state of janaba and he want to perform ghusl. According to some ulama, his sweat is najis, sweat of somebody who is mujnib from haram, and so naturally his dress will be also najis. Some have ihtiyat, obligatory precaution, some have said recommended precaution, different views. But the issue here, if you want to make ghusl and he is sweating, let us say by hot water. When there is hot water, he is sweating continuously. So his body is continuously najis. How come he do ghusl, Whatever he wash, there is new sweating and it is najis continuously. So here, according to Ayatullah Al-Sistani, he said his ghusl is alright, but as a recommended precaution is to perform ghusl with cold water, so he will not sweat. Or if he has to do ghusl, he do ghusl with the running water. So the running water first will wash, become tahir, and then the water will make the ghusl. If it is little water, when you put it, the first will make the thing tahir, but is not for ghusl. You put again, and sweating has come. But if it is running water from the shower, then it will wash the body right away, and maybe in half a second before sweating is there, then we'll wash. And as said, as recommended precaution, better to wash with little cold water, and not cold that freezing, but cold that you will not sweat. So with little cold water, if that Janabat from haram. As you said, ghusl, one has to wash all the body. All means complete, So if there is a small part of the body has any thing which prevent the water to reach the skin, whether it is oil or it is paint or it is some what you call for beauties they keep, and it is stick to the body, has to be removed, and whatever things like that, has to be removed completely so that the body can be washed with water. So if anything is there in the body, it has to be cleaned so that nothing remains. But if one knows that even a small part not washed, his ghusl is not valid, is void. So has to clean it completely. Certain parts of the body, let's say beginning of the nose or the lips or eyes, and one doubt whether what part of it is external, which is wajib to wash, and what part is internal, which is not wajib to wash. The ear, for example. So to wash so much that you are sure you have washed all the external part. So if you take little more in the nose, so you are sure that you have covered the limit of the nose. You know, if you put water in the ear, naturally if water goes little inside the ear, then you are sure whatever external is washed and little from the internal parts of the body is also washed, there's no problem. The lips, you know, you say whatever between the lips is external, but inside, so if you wash little inside, then you are sure that you have covered all the limits of the body to be washed. That is about it. Well, if there is a hole in the body, you know, especially the ladies, they use for the earring, and if that hole is small, then inside the hole is regarded as inside the body. But if the hole is too big, that is regarded like external part of the body, so that has to be washed. Because we said all external parts of the body is to be washed. Now here, how you regard it as external or internal. If it is external, then has to be washed. If somebody has certain parts, let us say plaster or paint, which he knows it will prevent water, and he cleaned it. Now, does he need to be certain that it was removed, or no? If he has doubt, but he removed it and he has some doubt, maybe still is there, but well, apparently most of it has been removed. He said no, because you were certain it was there. Now you have to be certain that it was removed. So he has to remove it properly. I mean, if a plaster, let us say, wash it with alcohol or wash it with so other medicine which will remove whatever part which is stick to the skin and prevent water from reaching the skin. If you put ointment, and well, by time ointment will go, so it reaches a state that you are not sure whether it will prevent water or not. Since before you were sure it was preventing water to touch the skin, now you are not sure whether it was removed or not, then naturally you have to remove it. You have removed it by tissue paper, if that will do, or by washing it with soap, or whatever other way to remove it. What is meant that because you were certain there was something preventing water from reaching the skin, now you have to be certain also that you have removed it completely. Well, the other issue will come. We said in ghusl is not wajib to wash the long hairs, like hair of the head. To wash the scalp is wajib, the skin is wajib. But if the women have a long hair, if by any way they can take the hair up and wash the scalp, that is sufficient. Washing the hair is not obligatory. What about the small hair of the body? He said no, small hair is regarded as part of the skin and that has to be washed. Only the subject about long hair, if somebody has a long hair, then it is not wajib all the long hair to be washed. If he can wash the scalp without washing all the hair, it is okay. If he cannot, naturally he has to wash all the hair as well. Yes. On issue 386, he said all the conditions that was mentioned for the wudu to be correct are here. Conditions, he said that the water should be pure water, not mixed water. So you have to do ghusl with water, not with rose water, let us say, or syrup or any other thing which is not a pure water. Secondly, we said the water should be tahir. Thirdly, the water should be yours, I mean not usurped. If it is usurped, not allowed. The place where you are doing it should be your place, not usurped. So all those conditions are also correct about the ghusl. Well, in ghusl, one difference with wudu, in wudu we said continuously you have to wash, not to wait for a long time. When you wash the face, you have to wash the right hand. When you finish, you wash the left hand, and then you wipe. You cannot wait for some time. But in ghusl, that is a difference. You said this is okay. You can wait. Let us say you wash head and neck, and you have a telephone call. You can take the telephone, talk a few minutes about telephone, and then complete washing of your body. So to be one after the other is no problem. The other difference in wudu, for example, the face from up down, the hand, you said from the elbow to the fingers, but in ghusl makes no difference. From down up or up down make no difference. I mean, up down, not about things to be in order. I mean, head and neck, you can start washing the neck, then the head, fine. But head and neck first. When you come to the body, you can wash your feet and then come up to the chest, or you can wash from the chest and go down to the feet. So that order is not necessary. Yes. If somebody has a problem with urination, it will, well, every few minutes he will get dribbling. So he said he should not delay in his ghusl. If he has time to perform ghusl and perform prayer right away, he should not delay, because he will not be able to fulfill his religious duties. So let him do ghusl and pray right away without delaying. If money paid for water, if somebody go to public bath, and naturally he pay money to the owner, if that money is usurped money, then his ghusl is batil, because he washed with the water purchased by usurped money, haram money. If, well, any money which is haram, then will not, the ghusl will be batil if it is public bath. Now, if somebody has a money that he has not paid khums on it, then naturally, if he has not paid khums, 20% is not his money, so it is usurped from the owner of the khums, and he is using all the money. 80% is his, 20% is not his. He said, well, his ghusl is all right, but he has to pay, that is his responsibility to pay khums for the owner of the khums, you know. So about khums will not be like usurped money, though it is obligatory for him to pay khums, but that will be due on him to pay it to the owner of the khums, but his payment to, let us say, a public bath, to buy water and to get bath is all right. If he has a doubt that has he done ghusl or not, if the doubt after ghusl is been done and he is not sure whether it was right or wrong, then as we said, after the passing of the deed, the doubt has no value. I am sure I did ghusl, but then I doubt whether I washed my legs, let us say, properly or not. So there is a doubt. Well, because I was sure I did ghusl, and one should not care for that. But if at time of ghusl, that I washed my, let us say, right side, and I washed the thigh, and I went to the toes, and then I remembered, okay, maybe some part of my back I have not washed it properly, because I am at time of ghusl, I should go back and make sure, because I have to be sure I have washed all parts which are supposed to be washed. If somebody has a tight time, let us say he has to perform ghusl, and for the prayer there's only 10 minutes, which is not sufficient to perform ghusl and offer the prayer, then in that case he has to perform tayammum on behalf of ghusl, and then he performs a prayer, and for the next prayer he has to perform ghusl. If at time of ghusl he had some act which nullify his wudu, like he passed urine or he passed gases, his ghusl will not be invalid. But as it is said, it is for ihtiyat, he has to perform wudu, complete his ghusl and perform wudu. Yes, these are different things, yes. If one has different ghusls, wajib ghusls, should he make 2, 3 ghusls one after the other for each action? He said no. If he has 2, 3, 4 different ghusls, that's ghusl janaba, ghusl Al-Mayyit, and ghusl of Jum'ah, and you need ghusl of Tawbah, and so on, all of them he can do with one ghusl with the intention of all, it is okay. If on some part of his body, some people, they write name of Allah on their body, I mean that is naturally, though it is under skin, but it is there. If he touch it and he is at the state of janabat, is not allowed. So he has to allow the water to pass without touching it by hand. Of course, this is not a good thing, but some people might do it, you know. So if name of Allah is there, if he has to do also tartibi, he should not touch his body in that way. If he has ghusl of janaba, do he need to perform wudu for the prayer or not? He said no. Ghusl of janabat will suffice for wudu. So if he performs ghusl of janabat, he can pray right away, no need to perform wudu. What about other ghusls? Well, according to Ayatullah Al-Sistani, all obligatory ghusls except the medium istihada will suffice for wudu and no need for wudu. And about the mustahab ghusls also suffice for wudu, but it is as a recommended precaution to perform wudu as well. So for mustahab ghusl of Jum'ah, it is mustahab to perform ghusl and will perform wudu. Well, according to some ulama, they said it's mustahab to perform wudu before ghusl of Jum'ah. Perform wudu and do ghusl of Jum'ah, because that is how it came in the ahadith to perform wudu. So it is mustahab, but mustahab before and you perform wudu. According to Ayatullah Al-Sistani, well, after performing ghusl of Jum'ah, is recommended to perform wudu, because that is mustahab. But if it was wajib ghusl, then there is no need for wudu. This is about ghusl janaba. We come to the subject of ghusl for touching the deceased. That is issue 527. If with our body we touch, any part of our body touches the deceased person, a dead, then we have to perform ghusl for touching the deceased. Now that is conditional before, after the body has become cold. Now if body of the deceased is still hot, let us say after 5 minutes, 10 minutes after his death, usually the body is still warm. So if you touch, you don't need to perform ghusl. But if the body gets cold, let us say after half an hour or 1 hour, and you touch body of the deceased, then ghusl is wajib. We call it ghusl massul mayyit, ghusl touching of the deceased. If a hair of the body or hair from the head touch the mayyit, you are not touching, hair is touching, that does not necessitate ghusl to be there. If you touch a child who is deceased, again ghusl of massul mayyit is obligatory. Well, even aborted child, then ghusl is there if it is child. And because the child, when he comes out, will touch body of the mother, then again the mother has to perform, according to obligatory precaution, has to perform ghusl as well. If the deceased we perform 3 ghusls, as we said, with sidr and kafur and water, 3 times ghusl to be done to the deceased. If that is already performed and someone touched the deceased after that, then ghusl is not necessary. So that is okay after the 3rd ghusl. If before the 3rd ghusl, then ghusl of touching the deceased is obligatory. But if the deceased got 3 ghusls, he become, let us say, clean. If you touch him, I mean, let us say when they wash the deceased with the 3 ghusls and put the coven, the shroud on his body, before they bury him, they ask his near relatives to come and have a farewell with him. So maybe the children will kiss their father or so on, kiss his face, kiss his hand, etc. But because washed 3 types of ghusl, then that touching does not necessitate that go and perform ghusl mass al-mayyit. The question, if a child or somebody who is insane touch a deceased. Now when the child become at the age of puberty, become, as we say, adult at the age of puberty, he has to perform ghusl of mass al-mayyit, touching the deceased. And if somebody at insane, let us say, has schizophrenia, for a few days he is not well, and after that he become all right, then when he is all right, then he has to perform ghusl of mass al-mayyit. So if one touch the deceased knowingly, unknowingly, intentionally, unintentionally, whether he is sane or insane, adult or a child, in all cases to touch body of the deceased, there is ghusl to be performed. Now the question, if part of the body is being removed, let us say in operation, the hand is cut, or if a deceased, the student in medical college, they do anatomy and dissection, and then parts of the body, maybe they got upper limb or lower limb for dissection. What to touch it? You know, you are not touching all the body. Well, according to some ulama, they said if there is bone with the flesh, then ghusl is necessary. And if you touch the bone, then ghusl of mass al-mayyit is necessary, unless you go and wash that part, the 3 types of ghusl with sidr and kafur and water. Otherwise, every time the students, medical student, to touch, they have to wash, otherwise they have to wear gloves so they will not touch by the body. According to Ayatullah Al-Sistani, he said no, if it is part is been taken out, even if it is bone alone, then ghusl is not wajib for that. This is, according to Ayatullah Al-Sistani, at issue 535, he mentioned that even a bone which ghusl was not done, though it was taken from an alive person, ghusl is not wajib. Same thing if a teeth is being taken out from a deceased or from somebody alive, touching it is not wajib. For someone who has touched the deceased, it will not be haram for him if he has wudu before to touch the writing of the Holy Quran or to enter the mosque, for example. Only for the prayer he need to perform ghusl. Otherwise, to enter the mosque, if he has ghusl of mass al-mayyit, touching the deceased, that is okay. These are the general issues about ghusl, which sometimes one needs to know about them. I think it's sufficient up to here before we go further, inshallah, in the next session. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wa sallallahu ala Muhammad wa alihi al-tahirin. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.